Hello everyone, welcome to this several part video on a line and wash of a Venetian building facade. It's going to be ink and watercolour. So here already I've just drawn out a pencil drawing basically of the front of the building. This is the building in question. So I've drawn everything out in pencil. If you really needed to, you could obviously trace it out. If you really have problems with the drawing, you could really simplify it as well. I mean, I've put quite a bit of detail in, but you really don't need to put that much detail in. So if you found it easier to, not have to put in the fiddly bits, you wouldn't have to. I actually really like these. I find them quite appealing, so I really wanted to put them in. And also the rustiness. Hopefully we'll try and capture the rustiness and the little lamp here. So as much detail as you like or not. Now if you're really confident, you could go straight in with ink, but for this kind of subject, for most of the people, I think it would be safer just to start with a pencil drawing. So what I'm going to do as well as using ink, pen and ink, is to actually use some masking fluid on a few places to show sort of some texture and the oldness of the building, if you like, where it's worn away on the door, the paint's worn away and things like that. And also there's brickwork along here, so which has a light grouting between the bricks. So what I'm going to do with that, or mortar, it's called mortar, isn't it, between the bricks, so I'm going to put some masking fluid on there as well. So to do this, I'm using a masking fluid pen, drawing gum pen. This is a Pebeo one. I find these really useful for fine lines. It's a 0.7mm tip and it's coloured blue, which is handy so you can see where you're putting it. You could, if you haven't got this, use ordinary masking fluid. I like the Schminker blue one, but whichever masking fluid you've got, and either an old dip pen or maybe a toothpick, cocktail stick. I have a little tool which is the handle of a brush with a paper clip joined to the end, unraveled paper clip. That's quite handy. An embossing tool like this, used for card making, is also quite handy for dipping into your masking fluid and using for fine lines. I'm going to use my drawing gum pen. So this needs a good shake before you start. Get things going. Sometimes with your paper you have to pump the nib up and down a few times to get it flowing. So where are we going to put this? Let's put there's some rustiness, but it's looking light, this ironwork, against the dark background. So I'm going to put a little bit of it here, a few bits running along here. Every so often with these pens you have to do a bit of that just to get it flowing. I'm not going to cover the whole thing, just here and there. And maybe just here and there on these details in the ironwork. Not too much, just some little highlights here and there. Also, where the paint's worn off around some of these door panels, the wood, I'm going to sort of scratch the surface lightly with the masking fluid. I'm not being careful here. I'm not making it too uniform, because I think that would make it probably look a bit too modern. So we want this aged look around the edges. quite good. There's a door knocker here, which is quite pale, so I'm going to fill that in. Now when it comes to the brickwork, give the pen a shake again, make sure it's working. With the brickwork, you have this mortar coming in here. So I've marked the horizontal lines, and as I go I'm just filling in a few vertical lines as well. Obviously they're quite old and crumbly, these bricks. Some are longer than others. When we take this off, obviously these will look quite white, so here and there we'll just fill it in a little bit with some paint, just to make it look natural. That would do, I think. Okay, and there's a few on the other side here. This is where the rendering on the outside of the building has crumbled and cracked and fallen off, as you get with the buildings in Venice. Exposing the bricks underneath. Good thing about drawing these old buildings is that your lines don't have to be too straight. Obviously it's crumbly, it's old. Things aren't necessarily that straight, so your lines can be a bit wobbly where the stone has worn away. Now, do we need any more masking? Don't think we do really. I think that's about it. I might maybe just a tiny bit here. These are iron railings as well, up here. They are very old, rusted. Just a few marks on there. And that's probably it for the masking fluid. So that's part 1 of the video. Part 2, I'll be adding the ink work. Hopefully I'll see you then. Bye.